Whoa, now that's the energy I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Vanky Kenny Kataria. And before I start off, I would like to say something. You see, life is a game. And the game is all about the name. The life is a game. And the game is all about a name. And if you want to make a name, then you got to take the blame. And if you take the blame, then there will be shame. But if you take the shame, then take that shame and ignite your flame. Because when you ignite your flame, then you will get to that big aim. Once you get to that big aim, ladies and gentlemen, you will make a name. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all about the game. That life is a game and you make a name. Thank you. Thank you so much for this warm reception. I am Vanky Kenny Kataria, and I would like to start off by sharing my story. You see, because statistics tell, but stories sell. And stories help us connect. And I want to get connected with you all, with each and every one of you. So I'll start by sharing with my story. So I did mechanical engineering from Kekiva College, Nasik, Maharashtra. So I'll take you back to the first time I represented India at the international level in a public speaking competition. I was one of the 8 representatives of India in this competition. I was very excited, enthusiastic, energetic. It was a competition in Chennai. I was one of the 8 representatives and other representatives from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The competition came. I went to the stage with my collars tight, my shoulders broad, my head held up high in the sky. I thought I was going to go all guns blazing and all cylinders firing. I went to the stage, gave my best presentation, I thought. And then the presentation got over. And after the presentation got over, there was a Q&A session. And there were 3 judges. And one of the 3 judges said the most magical word we'll ever get to see. We'll ever get to hear. He didn't ask me a single question. He said, I don't have a question for you. And then he came onto the stage later on. And he took me as an example and told everybody, hundreds of people, how not to give a presentation. He came onto the stage, took me as an example and teared me into pieces. And I was awestruck. You see, I was sitting there right next to you. I was sitting there and looking at people. People are smiling, people are laughing, people are giggling, all at me. And the judge teared me apart into pieces. And I wasn't even asked a single question in the Q&A session. I came back home. My mom, my uncle, my mentor, everyone inspired me. This happens. Because I was like a typical 21-year-old guy. These guys are cheaters. I mean, they don't know how to judge. So I decided I won't participate in such a competition again. But when I came back home, I understood. And I was mentored and inspired. So I learned. I made a list of all the points which I had learned from other good presenters. And I made a list of all the mistakes I had done, I thought, and my friends thought on a page. I worked the entire year in the hope that I will get to represent India in the same competition again next year. So I did the work for entire year. And by God's grace, I was again able to represent India at the very same competition. I was again one of the 8 representatives of India. And the competition was set to happen on the 21st of August, 2016. And the reason why I remember the date exactly, 21st of August, 2016, because remember I said I was doing engineering? On the 22nd of August, 2016, I had my semester paper. And that was of refrigeration and air conditioning. If you know a mechanical engineering guy. You guys can feel the pain, can't you? You're engineering guys, right? And so I flew down. Even then I participated in the competition. I went onto the stage. All guns. Not firing. No. See, you learn from your mistakes, right? This time, I was very calm, cool, humble, gentle, kind, respected. Very slow, very nice. I gave my presentation, and there was one thing which was going into my mind. I didn't want to win the competition. No, I didn't. All I wanted is that one of those 3 judges, this time the competition was happening in Kolkata. I wanted one of these 3 judges to ask me a single question. That's it. I was a simple guy. I just wanted one of them to ask me a question so that my self-respect would be fulfilled. That at least this time I go around, at least the judge asked me a question. And then one of the 3 judges didn't ask a question. Oh my God. One of the 3 judges didn't ask me a question. And I was like, what the heck? But you see, one of the judges didn't ask me a single question initially because they had loved my presentation skills so much that they didn't want to ask me a question. Thank you. And that moment I realized that life is not about winning and losing. You don't win and lose in life. You only win and learn in life. And that's the motto which I have been learning through. And that's my stories, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why I wanted to share my story with you all is because of the fact that we all love stories. Our brain is hardwired to hear stories. Right from my grandmother's bed stories to watching movies. Everyone loves stories. And that is the first point of today's talk which I wanted to highlight. If you want to create a brand for yourself, if you want to create a name for yourself, share your story. That's the most important part. You see, because when you share your story, you share your obstacles, you share your problems, you share all the negativity. And when you share all the negatives, all the negativity, all the negatives and problems you have overcome in your life, you get connected with other people. Because you see, when you share the negatives in your life, listen to this carefully, guys. When you share the negatives in your life, the positives of your life automatically get underlined. So once you highlight the negatives, the positives automatically get underlined. And that is the reason why we share stories. And that is why movies are so amazing, right? They're stories. So when you go to an interview, people say, I don't have much achievements. I don't have much accomplishments. Fine. You have had some obstacles. Share with them what obstacles you faced, how you overcame them. Because you see, the interviewer doesn't bother about your aptitude. No, he doesn't. He's not bothered about your aptitude. It is not about the aptitude, but it is about the right attitude. So once you share your story in an interview, he gets connected. So that's the first point, ladies and gentlemen. Share your story. Now you see, once you start sharing your story, and your story is inspirational, people start to notice you. You become an inspiration. Let me explain with an example. Just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you all, after 10 years, are a superstar, a movie star, right? And you're invited for a famous, a huge, a mega comedy show. So you go back, and you come to the stage. And the interviewer asks you, the anchor asks you a question. Sir, or ma'am, how has your journey been? How were you like in 10th grade? And you're like, well, when I was in 5th grade, I was one of the top 5 students. When I was in the 10th grade, I was a topper. By 12th standard, I topped the college. In my engineering life, I topped the university. And the anchor goes like, and the people go like, do we find this inspirational? No, we don't. So how will the audience get inspired by such people? So if you're facing failures and problems today, it's because once you overcome those problems, bigger the problem, bigger the obstacle, bigger the story. And greater the story, bigger the story, you'll go to stages, share your story, and more people will become inspired by you. And you will become an inspiration. So that is the reason why you're facing such problems now. Because you see, once you overcome them, you will become an inspiration for many people. And also, another advantage is getting free PR. Press. If you want to have a personal brand, if you want to become an influencer on Instagram, Facebook, right? If you want to become an influencer on these social media applications, you need proof. You need credibility. You need magazines and newspapers and TV shows to be talking about you. So how do they talk about you? They share your story. So first of all, you overcome obstacles, you overcome negativity, you share your story, you get press, you get and earn a lot of credibility. And this credibility is seen by a lot of people, which brings me to my third point, network. You see, normally what happens is, when we share something on social media, we share an accomplishment and you get 500 likes. 500 likes. And your friends like, how did he get 500 likes? Now I'm going to make sure that my next post gets at least 510 likes. And the competition goes on. This is the wrong kind of competition which is going on. What should be happening is, we should be having a network which get inspired by your accomplishments. So this is what I did. When I started off, I went online and started searching for influencers under the age of 30, 25 influencers under the age of 25 in the field of marketing, branding. And I sent them all a connection request on different social media platforms. The first day, one person connected. The second day, the first person saw that the first one is a mutual friend, so he got connected. In a span of 3 to 4 months, I had over 1,000 people who were doing amazing things. So now, when I opened my social media platforms, my news feed came away. Now there was a friend who was meeting the president of the country. There was a friend who was meeting the prime minister of the country. There was another friend who was meeting a movie star. There was someone who is signing $1 million deal with a company. And here I am, sitting at my home, doing nothing. And then I understood the power of networking. So I started getting connected with these people. That's the first advantage. You get inspired automatically. You don't need to go and search for videos on different social media platforms. The second thing, once you start sharing your story, your accomplishments on these social media platforms with such friends, who knows, these people who are meeting the presidents, the prime ministers, they would notice you. Even if one of those posts, they give you a like, that means they have noticed you. They know who you are. So a big opportunity is lying right in front of you. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of networking. So see, that's why I tell you, the game is all about the name. You have to make a name for yourself. And what are the 3 points? Let's quickly summarize it, guys. You see, it's all about the story. It's all about the story, because story brings you glory. It's all about getting press. The glory gets you press, which would help you progress. But all of these things are useless if you don't have the right network. Because you see, your network is your net worth. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, life is a game. And the game is all about the name. Thank you, guys. And thank you so much for being a warm audience. And before I go, I'd just like to make a short point. See, even though my name is Vanky, it's originated from Venkatesh, Lord Venkatesh. And it's Venkatesh is the other name of Balaji. So you see, that's the same name, right? So I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that I and you, we share the same name, because you see, the game is all about the name. Thank you so much.